name is Nessa. Welcome back to my channel. So it's been a hot minute since I've done this. It's been a while, but I am bringing to you guys my October TBR. So I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really have anything planned. Most planning that I've done for this month is for the 2 weeks that my friends Bailey and Kayla are hosting their readathon, Squash That series, and I went completely overboard. Don't know self-control, and let me just get to these books. There's 13 of them that I have that I believe that I'm gonna be able to read, and I haven't even read that many books in like a month. So we're just gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna tell you guys these books, and then yeah, that'll be that. The first ones that I do have are House of Earth and Blood and then House of Sky and Breath. I honestly have no clue if I'm gonna even finish either one of these, but we'll see. I do not remember much about this. I read this one before, but when I read it, I was like speed reading it, and so I don't remember anything except the girl's name is Bryn, I think. Don't know. Her best friend is a werewolf, and yeah, that's about it. I don't remember too much, so I'm hoping this time around that I'll be able to like take my time a little more, but obviously not that much, and you know, to annotate this, and then we'll see what happens later in the month about how I feel about this one. The next series that I am desperately hoping to get through is the Inheritance Games series. I read the first 2 books, really enjoyed them, and so I'm very excited to get through the last one and kind of see how this trilogy is going to end. If you don't know anything about the Inheritance Game series, it's pretty much about this girl named Avery who becomes a billionaire overnight after this random man names her his beneficiary pretty much, and she gets the money, she gets his house, she gets everything. It's pretty much her trying to figure out why she got this money, but not only that, there's like this whole mystery behind the house, the Hawthorns themselves, and Avery. And for the first 2 books, it was a pretty fun time. I enjoyed myself, and so I'm just ready to see how the story is going to end for Avery and all of the Hawthorn brothers. The next ones that I have are ones that have been sitting on my shelves since March, since they were gifted to me on my birthday, and that is the Carry On trilogy, or whatever it's called, with Simon. I read Carry On and I read Wayward Son, but that was like back in 2020-ish, and then the last book came out and I didn't think that I was going to get them. I honestly didn't plan on getting them, but then they were gifted to me for my birthday, and so here they are. I'm gonna read them. That'll be that. I don't remember much about any of these books either, except Simon, Baz, and there's wings involved. That's about all I know. Baz is a vampire, and that's it. So I guess we'll see kind of what happens, how this story is going to end. I do know that this series is like the series the girl was writing in Fangirl, I think it was called, but like these are the only Rainbow Rowell books I've ever read and the only ones I really plan on ever reading. So yeah, we'll see how this trilogy goes this month. The next book that I have that I'm hoping to get through is Empire of Storms. This is like the second to last book in the Throne of Glass series. I literally just finished Queen of Shadows last month, and I am trying to get through this series before the end of the year because it feels like I've been reading it for forever, when in reality I just started it earlier this year. But I just feel like I'm so close to the finish line with this series, and honestly these books feel so freaking long, and the series just feels so long when there's only like 7-8 books, but like this book itself is 693 pages, and sometimes with these I'm just like, they could probably be a little bit shorter, but I do have this one on my list. I don't know if I mentioned how much I love Strange the Dreamer, but I really love Strange the Dreamer. It's one of my favorite books. And so I'm finally reading Muse of Nightmares. I have no clue what Muse of Nightmares is going to be about. I just know we're following Laszlo, we're following 𝙬𝚘𝚗𝚗, and that's all I really need to know. I'm hoping that it has like the same qualities that I loved in Strange the Dreamer. And yeah, hopefully this one will be a good one this month. So a little chunky, over 500 pages. So we'll see how this one goes. Now, the next two books that I have on my list are ones that I don't have physical copies for. I'm going to be listening to them on audiobook, and that is Stay With Me and Still With Me by 𝙲𝚘𝚗𝚗. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Now, these books were books that were on Wattpad, and I remember them being like some of the better books that I had read on Wattpad. And then they were published as, you know, traditional published books. And a friend of mine gifted me the first book, and I read it, and I was like, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Reading it now that I'm no longer like in high school reading them. And so I figured I would continue the series and just see what happens. So the series really is just about this girl named Amelia who is trying to navigate high school, trying to navigate dealing with having her first love, all while trying to essentially be able to stay alive and ensure her survival after something that happened in her past. And yeah, the premise of the books sound promising, but I guess we'll just have to see. So the last book that I now have on my list is one that I really only picked up because of the title and the cover on the book. The title really was drawing me in. The cover I really like, and that is All of Us Villains. I don't know anything. Like I said, cover, title drew me in. But from what I read and reading of the synopsis, it looks like there's some high magic involved that people thought was long gone. There's a tournament of sorts amongst a small group of people from different families to obtain this magic. And so I'm here for it. You had said magic, and I'm here. It's fun. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this one, and I don't want to say I'm going into this with high expectations, but I have heard some people say good things about this book, so I'm hoping that I enjoy it and that it'll be a fun time. For these next 2 weeks, I am reading 13 books total, and I'm reading 5,945 pages total in the span of 2 weeks. But honestly, like, that's crazy to me because I don't even read that much in an entire month. But you know, I'm going to push through. We're going to see what happens. But yeah, so that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'm seeing you guys soon in another one. We're gonna push these videos out. I am hopefully vlogging for Squash That series. Don't know yet because I always say I'm vlogging and then that never happens. But I will see you guys soon.